Shalom, everybody in Christ's body on this Monday here, right? May 20th, 2025. Y'all put the word out. Let it be known out there that I'm live. If you got social media and all of that, because the sabotaging is real. So if you could just drop this link anywhere you're at, Facebook, Instagram, whatever other platforms you frequent, because the sabotaging is real, y'all. They're making sure you don't get these notifications. When I say they, I don't know who. Somebody working for the devil, right? Which is everybody. Most people, right? And that's what I come to talk about today. It's an uphill battle, y'all. We ain't got no friends, right? We are our only friends, right? It's hard, y'all. It's hard for us to group up and link up, and you know what I'm saying? Every power in this earth is fighting to see that don't happen. You know, it's the earth against heaven. And what we need to pray for is for the heavens to help us, y'all. Because we in this earth, and man, it's hard. They together, y'all. The wicked, they together, right? And they go hard. They go hard for each other. They're there for that, you know, because it's all about looks for them. It's about truth for us. We don't care how it looks, but it's about looks for them, right? So they go hard, you know. When they see one of theirs in any kind of disagreement or anything, they stack up and it's a whole bunch of them and they come together because everything is riding on, you know, what the majority sees, right? And the majority is going to see all of these people stack up and say, well, they must be right. And they're going to latch on to that. And that's how they're just accumulating all of these people, right? Legions, right? And that's how the legions stack up. You know? And they got big swelling words, you know, and they got all of this charisma and this attitude, and you know, their words never run out. You know, their words are like water. They never take a moment to breathe air in, you know. They're just so fired up and they got all of these words and they talk real fast, and they, you know what I mean? They work hard. Then they, you know, you see them working hard, overworking, you know. Why are they doing that? Because it's a lie. You got to do all of that when you're lying, right? All of these swelling words and big crowds and angry mobs, right? The remnant is not like that. And the truth is not like that. The truth is laid back. The truth takes its time, right? The truth don't care about much, you know? They always got to be spiffy, right? and perfect and clean cut and not a hair out of place. And a lie has to do that, my people. The truth is living real life, you know? And the Most High wanted it that way on purpose, right? Because you got to have a big heart to look past all of the stuff, right? He's going to hide his message. His message ain't, you know what I'm saying, readily accessible like that. Feel what I'm saying? You're going to have a certain type of a heart and a humility to even hear the meek. But guess what? That message and that persona and that influence and all of that, that stuff is going to save your soul, right? It's pure. When it uses the L word, it means it, right? They can't even say it, you know? You use the L word and they get all weird. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to even use the word, you know? When you are for the love, you love the love. In whatever form it comes in words, in deed, all of it. You're not going to pick and choose one element of it and then diss all the rest of them, you know? Nah, that's some person who's picking and choosing, you know, the love as it pertains to what they're trying to do at the moment. They're not really for the love. The love is for the love, period. It ain't for nothing else, right? All kind of stuff don't need to be present for the love. The love is its own entity. It don't need nothing else, right? It's not gonna roll over on itself to appeal to something else, right? The love is the love alone, and it loves itself everywhere it's at, right? Love comes in words, it comes in deed, it comes long term, right? You should be able to look at love over a long period of time and say, it meant it, right? It meant what it was saying all this time, right? All praises to the Most High, y'all. Uh, I'm sorry y'all ain't getting these notifications, y'all. Uh, I got a bad rap with YouTube, right? Because if y'all remember, I was monetized, and then they start trying to control the message and things like that. They start coming down on me, you know, and it was like, say this or don't say that, and they was flagging me and this and that, and you know what I mean? Or we'll demonetize you, and then they demonetize me, they cut it off, and they told me we'll cut it back on when you do this and when you do that. And they wanted me to get rid of important videos and messages and things like that. And I was like, well, keep your monetization, right? So when that happened, they took me out of the loop, you know? They stopped widely promoting, you know, or allowing, you know, my videos to come down timelines and things like that. I would just, you know, You ain't finding me unless you go searching for me. And if you don't type my name, you know, into that search box, and you probably ain't gonna find me. You know, I can imagine if you're already into watching my videos, you might get it coming down your timeline. But according to so many people, that's not happening while I'm live, you know. So it's an uphill battle, y'all, and it's real hard. And I understand the Most High, and I understand why He does things the way He does things, because we are a remnant, y'all. Right? He never uh planned for us to take over the world and all of that, and how people be trying to take the whole world over. That's not scriptural. You know, we are a remnant. You know, we are a needle in a haystack. We are a diamond in the rough. Okay, you are blessed to find us. The world is not going to help us exist. Okay, the world is going to throw everything over on the top of us so people can't see us. And it's a whole bunch of them, and they're all doing their part to make sure that we at the bottom of the stack and invisible, right? So when you see these big pompous groups and all of that and all of this, you know what I'm saying? Question yourself. Ask yourself, why is that able to be so? Right? Why are they pushing so hard for this to get out and not that? Right? And I would never complain about that because I understand. And I understand the Most High, you know. He doesn't need to be flashy. He's not flashy, you know. He doesn't need to put so much work into appealing to people. Why? Because you're going to wind up here anyway. When you exhaust all of that junk out there, you're going to be where you're supposed to be. You know, you're going to wind up where He ordains, you know, and you're going to know, you know, what it's in His will for you to know, right? And that's if He chooses you. And He's not going to choose many, right? He's picking a few here, a few there, right? And I'm going to tell you, if you want anything other than Him, mm, most likely He not going to choose you because you want something else, right? You got to want only Him. That's bringing one to mind. Let's go to it and do it. Right? There's many uh precepts of this. Mark 12 and 30. Let's start there. Mark 12 and 30. Right. From there, Deuteronomy 6 and 5. Christ dropped one at Matthew 22 and 37. Let's add that one in there. Matt 22:37. Right, so let's read Mark 12:30. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, all thy soul, and all thy mind, with all thy strength. This is the first commandment, y'all. So, boy, we gotta love the Most High above everything, y'all. And you gotta ask yourself, question your own mind, right? Counsel your own heart and say, am I really do I love the Most High above everything? And then ask yourself another question. How much more? How much more do I love the Most High, right? More than I love these other things, right? Because if the Most High is right here and you got something else right there, you in trouble. Nah, it need to be like that, right? You need you need to love the Most High way more above all. Man, that other stuff don't need to stand a chance, right? It shouldn't stand a chance, y'all. That stuff should be so far below the Most High, right? Why? Because if it's just right there, then that stuff is going to be able to, it's too close, right? You're going to be able to, that stuff is going to be able to cloud your judgment according to the Most High sometimes. Nah, this stuff down here need to be, woo, right? It need to be in the sunken place, right? Like, get out, you know? That stuff need to be way down up under there, right? Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, right? You know? And that's what we gotta ask ourselves. I am how far, you know what I mean? Man, we shouldn't nothing be blocking us from hearing the Most High or none of that, or from doing the things He want us to do. If your dreams and all of that, you still putting some effort toward that stuff, you gotta be sleep to dream, right? And if you're daydreaming, that's dangerous too. You be done got snuck from the side while you la land, you know, you got a fist coming right here. You know what I'm saying? Nah, you gotta be on the swivel. You gotta be like that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be, you know, for the Most High. He can't use you. He can't use you if you're able to get snuck from the side, right? No, we gotta be on point, y'all. And we gotta be ready for his message. And we gotta be looking for his message. Cause we trapped, y'all. We trapped. They got us in this earth, and ain't nobody on our side, y'all. Unless he send them, right? Unless he send them. And he ain't sending a lot. Why? Because it's a lot for us to learn, right? And that fire that we in is teaching us, right? So, and all he wants for us is to humble ourselves and do what he say. We ain't doing what he say, and we ain't humble. We still looking at ourself and looking at our story and how can we add, right, to our legacy and all. No, add to his legacy. And in that, wrapped up in that is your legacy automatically, right? Automatically. Just seek him, seek his legacy, right? And yours is automatically included in that. Matthew 6, right? Matthew 6 and 31 through 34. That's where you go get it, right? But let's break this down. Let's break this down by quotation, right? Matthew 12 and 30. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God, right? The Lord your God. The Lord, them other people's God. No, the Lord your God, right? Your God. That's so packed. I could take that right there and just talk about that for the rest of the day, y'all. Do we first understand that your God, my God, your God, our God, right? Ka, ya, nawa, right? Mine, yours, ours, right? If you want to get it in the Hebrew, right? But listen, that just said, Matthew 12 and 30, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God, right? Who's Lord? Your Lord. Who's God? Your God. What did he tell you to do? That's how you separate it. That's how you know if you're listening to your God, my God, our God. Kayanawa, right? What did he say to do? Love your God. So you should know when you're doing something that's serving that other God. Who wants you fighting? Your God or the other God? Who wants you distracted? Your God or the other God? Who wants you thinking about how do I get this and get that, right? When you're supposed to be worrying about what Christ's work is. Who wants that? Who wants you looking at a person, right, and thinking about how ugly they are instead of thinking about that anointed message that's coming out of their mouth that's going to save your soul, right? Oh, his shirt is wrinkly. I'm out of here. Clicking out. You know, and then you're gonna go somewhere else and say all praises to the you shut up. You just missed the whole everything he's getting ready to set you up for, right? For what's pompous and what's, pretty in a nice suit, a suit and a tie on, fresh edge up, everything is, you know what I mean? They making they say a lie is well dressed. The truth, baby, is raw. The truth is butt naked and it's raw and it's ugly sometimes, right? A lie is well dressed and made up, right? What is that? The makeup, all this makeup, I call it cake up. You know what I'm saying? You didn't put icing on your face like a cake. That didn't even how your skin looked. That, you know what I'm saying? A lie is well dressed, y'all. Yeah, you go party all night, you go dance. Yeah, look at my lady, right? You go home, you have fun, the lights are off, right? You wake up in the morning like, brother, brother, brother. Right? And that's what time it is. It's time to wake up and say, brother, 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 what have I been dancing and loving on and sleeping with and all of this? Right? A well-dressed lie. A well-dressed lie. And you're gonna have to wake up in the morning when all that makeup come off and that wig come off, right? And that real skin pigment come out, right? And them contacts pop off and them long eyelids, you know what I'm saying? and look at that, baby, and fall in love with that, because that is the real, right? That is the real. It's time to fall in love with the truth, right? What does your God require of you? Your God. Because guess what? It probably ain't that glittery fantasy you've been seeing, right? His reality for you may be raw, you know? It may be raw. And I'm in that, baby. And I'm flourishing and it's beautiful. And I'm, man, oh my goodness, y'all. You know, it's beautiful, y'all. And that's his will. It's all his will, right? I love who I am. I love who he's making me, right? I would rather be what I am right now, these few people that I'm talking to and helping through their day, right? Than to have a million views on a song that people are just gonna dance and then turn it off, right? And then go back to their cursed life, right? And still keep playing church, right? I don't care about that. Oh yeah, the music, like, yeah, all it did was make you feel good, right? And a lot of people, the people who changed their life behind it, they're here, right? And they took direct offense to a man when he said that's worth nothing. He's just a rapper. He a rapper. Do you know what his words, that the Most High served me through? You know what that did for me? It ain't no way you heard that and then sat there, you know, because the Holy Spirit came through that stuff and changed lives, right? All praises to the Most High. You guys are here, right? Whether I'm making music or not, right? And I'm gonna get back on that. We're gonna get back on that, and we're gonna do some things, because that's the hand that reach out. That's the hand that reaches out and it pulls people in. But many are called, few are chosen. Let me break that down for you, right? You're called because the call is appealing. It goes out and everybody hears it and everybody comes, right? Like when your mother call you, right? Hey, such and such, and you run over there, right? You running over there. You don't know what she gonna say when you get over there, and she just like, give me the remote. It's like, right? She could have said anything, right? You don't know why she's calling, but you hope she's calling to say, hey, I got $50 for you. Here, go buy you some shoes, right? You don't know what she's gonna say when you get over there, right? So there's many called, but there's few chosen. What are you gonna say when you get over there and she says, give me the remote? Right? And that's how the Most High is, y'all. He's like, give me the remote. And a lot of people are gonna say the remote, and they got a lot to say, and they blah blah. Well, why can't such and such get you the remote? He's closer to it, and blah, you know what I mean? And blah blah. And that's what the greater majority of people are going to do, right? Oh, the remote. He's looking for the one that's going to say, the remote pop? Oh, man, no problem out here. Reach over 10 people. Here's your remote pop. And he going to say, thanks for the remote. Now, guess what? I got you $1 million in the back there. So, you know what I'm saying? You know. and you know, you can spend that, you know, who knows how long, right? That's the eternity, right? Do you see? Let me help you understand your God, right? What it say? What Mark 12 and 30 say? Right? And thou shalt love the Lord thy God. That's how he is, right? He's not asking much, right? If you latch onto his voice and go everywhere he's saying to go, make all the lefts and right he's saying to make, okay, now spin around. Why I gotta spin around? I just came from over there. No, I put something over there that wasn't over there the last time when you went through. You didn't see it. Now listen to my voice. When you go there and you get back there where I had you before, look to the left, look to the right, right? Oh, there it is. Oh, how did I miss that? Listen to your father, y'all. All you got to do is listen to him. And that's what he said to do. Harking on to my word, right? Listen to his word. Don't ask no questions, right? The answer to your question is in the deed when you do it, when you're doing what he's telling you to do. The knowledge of the holy is understanding, right? So you got to be holy first before you understand. There's knowledge that comes with being holy, with being set apart. And what is it being set apart? It's being what everybody else ain't, right? It's being what everybody else ain't. It's being portioned off, set apart, right? Remnant and all of that. That's being holy. Okay, so when you start living like that, there's knowledge in that, right? And the lesson that comes with that, who saith the Lord your God, Mark 12 and 30, right? And thou shalt love, that's a man, the LOVE, right? We could go in on that and just hone in on that and just, what is he asking, right? And thou shalt love the Lord thy God, right? The Lord your God. Con? Wow. Right? So let's go a little further. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with what? With all thy heart. No, just some of your heart. No, just some of the, you know, the part of your heart that's left over after this, that, and the other. With all your heart, y'all. That means you can't love the other stuff with all your heart, right? Of course, we want things, we need things. But if you could just give it, you know, who knows how much time, if you could just take your whole heart and love the Most High, right? With all your heart, y'all, put everything else, like I said, put it way down there, right? You know, just for a while, y'all. Because you can't even hear him because you got all of this other stuff on your mind, all of your other wants and needs and fantasies and aspirations. And, you know, you got all of that other stuff, you know, filtering what you're able to hear from him, right? That's why so many people find God in jail because all of that other stuff is silenced. I can't run across town, chase this money. I can't go to the other side of town, chase this woman, right? This and that. The people who I thought loved me, they ain't reached out to me. They ain't said nothing, right? So, you know, the peer pressure and the influence and all of that turns off, right? You know, everything gets out of the way and then he starts talking, right? And it ain't nothing but you and that concrete and that steel, right? And them boogers on the wall, you know, and you like, man, what have I done, you know? To wind up here, that means everything that I've ever poured into in my life has failed me. If I'm in here and I'm dealing with this, it's just you and your mind, baby, and that concrete and that steel. And that's when the Most High, whose name is Ahia, he starts talking. And he starts talking loud, right? And that's when you grow up, right? But long as all of that other stuff is in the way, your judgment is going to be clouded. Your ears are going to be selective. You're going to hear this, and you're not, you know, it takes a big soul to say, man, I got this feast right here, right? I got everything I ever wanted right here. And that will occupy you. The devil will give you that. And you'll just be, okay, that's delicious. Okay, what is this over here? Right? Okay, oh, this is red. I like red. You know, boom, boom. Okay, blueberries over here. All right, whoa, whoa, right? And he will do that until you die. And it's like you done spent your whole life on a feast when work was behind you. All you had to do was spin around and see, okay, well, this is, you know, we got to be careful, y'all. But us who the Most High has ordained, ain't nothing gonna stop us, right? None of the distractions that the devil throw up, it ain't gonna succeed, right? It will be formed. That's a formed, that's a formed weapon, right? That big old table full of feast, right? And the devil getting to the end of the stuff that you're trying, and he's like, oh, whoa, wait a minute, you know, man, he getting ready to wake up from this. Hold on, let me slide a whole bunch of colors and different types of dishes, and you know what I'm saying? You know, have you been to Italy? Oh, check this out, you know. That's all you heard of spaghetti and pizza? Oh no, you know. You ain't never heard of ravioli and tortellini, and you know what I'm saying? Penny, and you know, he starts pulling out all of these dishes and you just tasting, okay, you know. And the Most High is behind you, like, hey, stop eating that food. Hey, come on, check, you know. And how is he doing that? Through people. People are coming and telling you, brother, you ain't had enough taste tests, like, you know what I'm saying? And you get offended at them, like, what you mean, brother? You know, oh, you just mad because you got that little table over there, you know, with your crackers and your blah blah. You know, it takes a very special soul, y'all, to wake up from that stuff and say, okay, let's get on what really matters. What really matters? 1 Corinthians chapter 13, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Boy. Right? And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, y'all. Your heart cannot be split in no other direction but unto him. Your whole heart, your entire heart, right? You got to love him with all your heart, y'all. Right? What's the next comma? And with all thy soul. That's what everything you are. When you love him with your soul now, ain't nothing coming in between that. When you love him with your soul, right? When you don't love him with your soul, you ain't willing to go through no pain, right? You won't be able to get past the flesh. So how does that look in the grand scheme of things? Oh, my flesh is bothered. I got to back out of this, right? You'll never get to loving him with your soul because your flesh is going to get in the way. Oh, this is uncomfortable, right? And that's where you're going to pull out. You're going to back out of the process. Okay, well, I ain't trying to see the end of that. You know, if I got to go through this, right? So when you love him with all of your soul, you done passed the flesh. Everything in the flesh done came at you and you survived it. And you're down into the soul now, right? And you loving him with that. I love him with my soul, y'all. I know how that feels. I know how it feels for this flesh to be gone. I came out of this. I came out of this flesh, right? And guess what? I did that before my incident, right? I felt some of that. You can feel that. You can feel that. Even while you're in your flesh, you can feel that, y'all. Because it was heightened, but I had a taste of it before, right? In the selection, that was the collection, but the selection was 2015, right? And I would put y'all on that. I don't care if it's one or two of y'all out of everybody who's listening. Get the selection, y'all. You know, dedicate yourself to doing for everybody else. And the love will choose you. That's how you get chosen by the love, right? It's about your emotion toward everybody else. Selflessness, right? It's how you get chosen, by the love. You got to become of the love, and it can't really be for no reward. Don't even look for no reward. I mean, a reward is in it eventually, but don't be looking for no tit for tat, because I have people try this for a week and then I tried it for a week. Like, nah, if you're doing that, that's fake. The love knows when it's fake. No, your love is for the reward. Your love can't be for the reward. Your love has to be for the love. you know, the love is not stupid. Okay. The love is a spirit, right? It's an angel, right? It's like all of this other stuff, right? Envy is one, anger is one, confusion is one. All of this stuff, all of these spirits, what are they? Emotions, right? Love is one, right? But love is from the Father, right? Some people fall in love with wisdom, right? And you will know the wisdom and you'll be able to speak and captivate, and you won't have no love intertwined in that, right? And you will set yourself up for a failure, right? If you love wisdom alone, right? Knowing things, being able to speak strong, having experience, right? But if love is lacking from that, and it is very possible for love to be lacking from that, we see it all the time. We see a lot of people have the wisdom, right? And then you bring up the L word and they get weird, right? Because they don't love the same. They haven't chosen that, right? They could tell you a lot about everything, right? They can't tell you nothing about that. right? It's deep, y'all. Understand these spirits, y'all. But the Most High does use wisdom, and wisdom does belong to the Most High, right? But the greatest of these is charity, right? If you allow the full measure of wisdom, wisdom will tell you, get love. Go get the L word, right? Go get it. You got to go get it, y'all, right? And that's what this is telling us. Mark 12 and 30. All of this stuff, what is it telling you to do with your heart and your soul? It's telling you the L word, right? Love the Lord your God, right? With all thy heart, with everything that you feel. You got to be loving the Most High with that, right? And with all of your soul. That's beyond the flesh. With your soul, you got to love them. That means anybody coming to you saying anything or offering anything or any whatever the case may be, they cannot sway your soul. Your soul is for him. So who cares? It's going to look crazy in the flesh. They're like, man, you see what just happened to that brother? He's still on that. He's still on that. Why? Because you love him with your soul. They're only able to understand with their flesh. Man, why he going through that? Right? It passed all understanding, like the rain, right? Like how I dropped on the rain, right? Let's go to that. Let's veer. Let's hold that. Let's hold that and just grab this real quick, right? Philippians 4 and 7, and the peace of God, which passes all understanding, y'all. The peace of God. How do you get that peace of God? Mark 12 and 30, and thou shalt love the Lord your God. With what? With all your heart and all your soul. That's as far as we have gotten, right? And that deep. And it's explaining further how to do the first part, right? How do you love the Lord your God? With all your heart? You got to love him with all your soul. That's how, right? But this peace, it passes all understanding. So that that means you know, things happened, but they wasn't enough to interrupt that peace. Is your life perfect? No. Matter of fact, he's going to use you. He's going to say, okay, now that I got you numb to these situations, Bronze, let's wipe out your kidneys, get you to the electric blue, right? Let's get you separated from those people who you love, right? All of those people worldwide, right? Who you've been going hard for 15 years that don't appreciate it, right? Let's get you separated from them, right? It's going to hurt. It's going to tear you to pieces, right? And the cold part was he wasn't telling me what he was doing, right? While it was time to separate. But we going to get you, let's bring all of this pain on you, right? Let's crush you totally, right? That's all things, right? All of those things, right? What me and the Most High has going is beyond all of that, y'all. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding. I sound crazy to y'all right now, some of you. If you ain't cut from this cloth, they like, what is he talking about, right? And what they're gonna do, they're gonna click out of here. Oh man, right? We see these numbers fluctuating over here. I got 50 in here, then I got 60, then I got 39 right now, and then I got 21, you know, because I'm speaking another language, right? Shout out to y'all that be hanging in here and that understand everything that I'm talking about, right? But Philippians 4 and 7, and the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts for how long? And minds through Christ Yasha, right? There's another one that goes into, you know, the precept says to the end, to the end of everything. That's how long they're going to keep you. If you go listen to the rain, you get those precepts in there, they in there, right? But the peace of God, right? So you may see something and you may perceive that I'm not in peace. Guess what? I'm in peace no matter what you see me doing, y'all. No matter what you see me addressing or who you see me dealing with, right? That peace doesn't leave, right? I'm dealing with the situation, right? At any moment, that person could say, oh, I see what you're talking about right there, right? And you'll see on a dime, right? I will pivot on a dime and okay, conversation. Okay, we got that under control. Okay, next subject, you know, flat out, right? Because I don't battle with flesh or with people. I battle with spirits. What is a spirit? A mood. I'm gonna keep saying it. A mood, a feeling, right? That's all it is. When you feel different, it ain't no need to keep talking about that, right? Because you feel different. Another spirit has entered you. You have different feelings now, right? And the feelings change everything. Now your mind starts to see, right? Now your mind, now you can start talking and just go about your newfound feeling, spirit that just shifted and went in another direction. Y'all see that? Why ain't they teaching us this? That's all it is, a feeling, right? A mood. Now, when you shift into that new mood, you have a whole lifestyle right there on the spot. You have a whole lifestyle. You can break down, you can speak how I'm speaking right now, and you can speak forever. When you just 10 seconds ago switched into this, right? Why? Because that spirit comes with a whole bale of knowledge, right? And wisdom. And that's why we have to see things. That's why we have to go through life battling and fighting and getting scraped and bruised up and blah, blah, you know? Come on now. And thou shalt love, Mark 12 and 30, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with everything you feel, with all your what? Spirits, right? Love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, meekness, temperance, right? And with all thy soul. So with everything that you are made of, right? Your soul existed before the Most High put flesh and all of that on it. So you got to remove the flesh. You got to love him with your soul. You got to love him with what you were before he put you in this body and gave you this earth. You got to love him with that, right? And how do you know you're doing that? Let's get some more. With all thy mind. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. What's that? That's with everything you think. And that's the problem. You're trying to love him with all your heart and your soul, But your mind is like, yeah, but you really want that over there, right? You're really making it a point. You're really fighting to say, okay, let's not think about that over there, and let's come over here and love him with all your heart, in your soul, right? And your heart and your soul is like, nah, because your mind is over there. Your mind still wants that. You got to train your mind to not want that. You got to love him with all your mind. What is that? Your thoughts. You got to love him with everything you think, right? And how is that going to start out? That's going to start out with you battling that, feeling your mind trying to think about something else, and you got to be strong and mean it when you say, "No, I'm not thinking about that. Forget that." Right? Your mind is gonna be trying to go there, and you're gonna be like, "Nope." And if you do that enough, the more or the least you will think about that thing. And then sure enough, you'll see that your mind stops even trying to go over there. And your mind is it is face to face with your heart and your soul, right? And now your mind, now your thoughts, now you don't even think left wing, right? Whoo. Come on now, your heart, your soul, your mind, like this for the most high. Mm, mm, mm. Let's get another comment. What's next? I think this okay, let me pull up my tab. And with all thy strength. So that's how all of those things coming together, they're gonna embody the strength. And now everything, your strength, that's what your work is, y'all. All of this is saying really is faith and works, right? But your strength, the might in your hands, the might in your soul, the might in your mind, the might, right? The might in your heart. That's your work, y'all. And what is that? This love. Now you see why the love is so important. What's stopping people from performing these deeds of the love? Could it be their heart? Could it be their mind? Right? Could it be their soul? Right? Some people's soul is wicked, right? The devil got them so tight that their mind is saying, man, help this person. And their heart is saying, you feel for this person. You want to do, but the devil got their soul, and their soul is like, nah, get out of here, you know? Oh, this and that. They look up and down you and they find a reason. Nah, man, because your shirt is wrinkled, you know? Your shave ain't right, buddy. You this and that, you know? You know? Such and such would never lie on you. And you know what I mean? That's coming from the yeah. Their mind right there is probably saying, man, I'm a little too caught up in this. You know? Maybe it's your mind. Maybe your heart is feeling the way it's supposed to be feeling, and your soul is on board, you know, but your mind is saying, man, something's up with this cat here. I don't know what it is right now, but I'm gonna find out later and I'm gonna regret it. What is that? Fear. And fear has what? No place in love, y'all. Right. Don't tell me no man wrote this book. Right? You see how all of this stuff it just intertwines itself. It just wraps over and over and over again, and then you can just point anywhere, everywhere, and it all means the same thing, and it's all trying to get you to one message, y'all. What's the message it's trying to get you to? First Corinthians chapter 13. That's where it's trying to get you, right? Boy, found myself walking away from more people that are wicked knowingly. Who is that? Why did that message jump out to me right now? What is that about? I just looked over there and read that. I've been seeing y'all messages coming through, and I'm gonna jump on the chat right at some point. But that message just boom. Why is it the Most High want me to look at that and read that? Who is that? Who even are you? Shapop, Shamar. All praise is to the Most High. Found myself walking away from more people than are wicked knowingly. Kind, I feel you on that. And that's a good thing. That's a best man, you know. You got to be willing to do that, right? You're loving him with everything. It takes loving him with everything to be able to do that, because something is going to keep you there. If it ain't your heart or your mind or your soul, something's going to keep you there. But that's what it's trying to do, y'all. It's trying to get you to love him with all of your strength. What is your strength going to go into? That's your work, y'all. That's your work. That's what you're going to extend from all of this. Loving the Most High with your heart, mind, soul, right? You see that? Right? And what is this? How does it finish? This is the first commandment, right? Exodus 20:3. That's the first commandment, y'all. So if you ain't done this, can we say, do you see why a lot of things don't work out? A lot of prayers we're praying, a lot of triumphs that we're looking for, they don't go down the way they're supposed to, right? And things like that. We end up disappointed a lot. Things don't work our way a lot. Some things do, but the main things that we really after, sometimes they don't work out, you know, or you feel weakness, you feel in the spirit where you're lacking something, you don't know what it is, you can't put your finger on it, but you just keep trying to do what you know how to do, right? And it don't just it don't seem to work out for you, right? Because the Most High is looking at you and he's thinking, you ain't keeping these commandments. Why? Because of what was just broke down in Mark 12:30, right? Let's read it. No interruption, straight through. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. So what you worried about? The Sabbath? No, that's like number 4. First, this is the first commandment. Love the Most High with everything, right? Heart, mind, soul, strength. Now, somebody who loves the Most High with all their heart, soul, strength, mind, they're going to sit down here and they're going to be home, right? Because they're going to hear their Father coming from me, right? Without all the glitter and without all the this and that to pull you in, you know. You look over at who's watching it with you, and it's 3,000-4,000 people. Guess what? you know, we are a remnant, y'all. Most High, he ain't always in that just because you see that. But guess what he's gonna do? Out of all of those people, cherry picking. Okay, you come on. You three of y'all. He gonna come back next year. Okay, I'm just gonna pick 2 this year. Next year he might just pick 1. Next year he gonna come back. He gonna pick 5. Right? But man, we ain't playing. Right? And we've been coming together. Right? And it seemed like quite a few of us, we were just waiting on me. A few of us, Yeah, I know Bronze is gonna come out of there, man, and get on this real work and take it to the public, right? Take it to the streets. And that's what time it is, y'all. It's time to take it to the streets. right? Shout out my brother JJ doing his thing out there yesterday in the streets of Los Angeles, right? I made it late, but I made it and I linked in with my brother, and you know what I mean? All praises to the Most High. Long, long overdue sit down, you know, and we got some things in the works, y'all. We don't know. We don't know what the Most High is doing. We just got to do it, you know. He's calling plays. He's saying make a left and make a right, and then he's saying turn around and go back. I know I had you go through there before, but turn around and go back. You know, and we ain't asking no questions. We saying, yeah, Father, okay, say less, right? We are not challenging the Father, right? We are looking to be led by him, right? Grown Hebrews, you know, got another man in front of you saying, no, the Most High, I know what the Most High said this to you. No, the Most High said this. How you gonna tell me what the Most High is saying to me, right? Oh no, you haven't rose through these ranks yet, so what you're saying doesn't matter, right? Is that law? Is that real? Let me wake y'all up real quick, right? Shout out to brother Yahweh Shai. We was chopping it up uh on this, and man, something so cold came out. Why ain't they showing you this, right? Why ain't people showing you this, right? Why? I tell you why. Because it'll hurt the control that they're having over you, right? That they're using this book to gain over you, right? In our law, Deuteronomy 1st chapter, verses 16 through 17. Oh, this is going to tear y'all up. It's going to hurt somebody, right? If you're hearing your allegiance is to a man, you might want to skate right now. You don't want to hear this, right? If you want to if you want to continue to love these men the way you've been loving them, and to keep your loyalty intact the way a lot of us have, because we trying to serve the Most High and we love the Most High with all our soul, all our heart, all our mind, right? How Mark 12:30 was saying, and then you have a clever man who's able to, you know, we had the Most High here, you have us there, and we're reciprocating that, and they know how we might be a little, you know, lesser in the knowledge, right? And they're able to, you know, do this. Most High us, they're able to boop and intercept that. And now, you know, what's supposed to be flowing to the Most High is flowing to some man, in between you and some man, right? If you want to maintain that, get out of here. Because it's about to get real clear to you, right? You know, if you haven't this, if you haven't that, and blah blah, and you didn't hit all these levels, you famous, you brother bronze, right? But they could tell you, shut up, right? Sit down. The Most High ain't saying nothing to you unless I say the Most High is saying something to you, right? That's. Come on now, let's read it, right? Deuteronomy 1 and 16 through 17 says, and I charge your judges at that time, saying, right, hear the causes between your brethren, right? Hear the causes between your brethren, and judge righteously between every man and his brother, right? And who else? And the stranger that is with him. Now, here's the money shot. 17, ye shall not respect persons in judgment, right? So, in your judgment now, in your righteous decision making, you shall not choose a person, right? What shall you choose? It just told you your righteous judgment, right? Choose your judgment, not the person, right? Ye shall not respect persons in judgment. Choose your judgment, not the person, right? Tell us more about this, Moses. But ye shall hear the small as well as the great. What? Why ain't they telling you that? So that means you can't take the person who you deem as a small person and throw his judgment in the trash. No, you got to listen to that. Hear the small as well as the great. You can't look at the small and the great and say, we're going to believe the great because he's great. Why? Because that man going to end up lying to you. He's going to abuse his power, right? And this is trying to stop you from falling short of that and picking a man because of his stature and because of all of this. And he's sitting up there lying, right? And you treading on a man who you deem as small, right? What that just say? But ye shall hear the small as well as the great, right? Why? Because you getting ready to judge. How does that verse start? Ye shall not respect persons in judgment, right? Your judgment got to be more important than the person. Why? Because, but ye shall hear the small as well as the great, right? So you supposed to hear the small making all the sense and stand with the small, right? And let the great do whatever he gonna do, right? And him and all of his pompous, you stand with that truth, right? Who's gonna do this? A person from Mark 12 and 30 that, and thou shalt love the most high thy God, right? With all thy heart, all thy soul, all thy mind, all thy strength. And what is this? This is the first commandment. Right? Glory to his holy name. You better start reading this book, right? Ye shall not be afraid of his face, right? You shall not be afraid of the face of man, right? So when he asks, hey, what's up with this and blah, blah, and you scared of his face, oh, no, sir, it was this and it was that and blah, blah, and I was it. Yeah, Scooby-Doo, right? Huh? Right? Scooby-Doo again. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know nothing. I did blah, blah. Stop lying. You knew exactly what was going on. You set everything up to go the way it went, right? Oh, I didn't know I'm on your side. Right? Shut up, right? Ye shall not be afraid of the face of man, for the judgment is who? The Most High. So let him do whatever he gonna do, right? Let him threaten you however he gonna threaten you, right? Let him take his resources and hurt you however he can hurt you, even if it's just to lie and get in front of a camera and blatantly lie. Because guess what? We gonna come before this throne and you gonna learn the real, right? And that's how the mountain is gonna be brought low. And the valley that was known to be low, it's gonna be exalted, right? You're going to be corrected. Right is going to be put right. Right? Fear what's right, y'all. Don't fear what's wrong. When you see what's wrong, man, take all your heart, soul, mind that's for the Most High, all your strength, and go against what's wrong. Right? No, I'm getting away from that. Right? But we going to rise, y'all. And man, this whole world, they on the same team, y'all. This whole world is on the same team. When you realize the extent of this, man, and that's why I be saying the Most High, he ain't really got nothing, y'all. He ain't really got nothing in this earth. But guess what he's doing? He's establishing it right now. He pulled some brother named Akarad, snatched me up out the earth and dealt with me directly and put me back on this, put me back in this earth on what you see me on, right? And I cashed in everything to come and do this, to come and tell you this, right? Wait till you find out how many friends you have, because you think you got a whole lot of them right now and you don't, right? But wait until you find out how many friends you need. You don't need a lot of friends, baby, right? You need one good one, right? And the Most High is doing it through men. No, I'm not putting myself on no high pedestal like I'm Christ or nothing. No, but I'm coming in the name and in the vein of Christ, who came in the name of his Father, right? You know, now either one, it's gonna happen one way. Christ is gonna come down here and he gonna tap you on your shoulder and he gonna tell you something, or he gonna snatch you out of this earth and he gonna take you where I went, to this secret place, right? And he gonna tell you there, or he gonna send a man, and a man is gonna say it, and it's gonna be up to you to choose. You gotta choose. You gotta weigh everything and use your judgment, right? And use faith and all of this, all of these great things, right? All of these great attributes and spirits that he gives us. You're gonna have to use that, and you're gonna have to guide your way, right? But you're gonna get somebody who he's gonna be sincere. He's gonna come, he's gonna be sincere, and he's gonna lay it down. And there's gonna be so many in the past who have ran you over and did you wrong and lied to you, and you're gonna have to, you know, trust in, the truth, y'all. And what you know is the truth. And what's the truth? It don't matter how many was in the past and lied to you and all of that. Why? Because Christ was getting us ready for that. Was it more than 490 of them? Because that's what 7 times 70 is, right? That's why he's conditioning us, to not get tired of the redundance, you know, because the devil is doing that. The devil is banking on that. The devil is sending you liar after liar just to get you tired and just to get you to stop paying attention and stop being sober minded, right? And to fall off from that and do what? And miss the mark, right? What was sin? To miss the mark. One of the attributes of sin was to miss the mark. Y'all remember that? See, y'all better go back through these lies. There's some jewels back there. There's some stuff back there. I know the majority of y'all ain't gonna know what I'm talking about when I say sin, right? One of the attributes of sin is to miss the mark, right? Stephanie Hodge can tell you about it. I bet you she was there, right? I bet you she could tell you about it. D. Rich could tell you about it. Cruising could tell you about it, right? Ricardo Gonzalez, right? Ricard Gunn, he can tell you about it, right? Michael Corbett, he might be able to tell you about it, right? Shout out to the I Am. I love y'all. We at 100, or we at 119. Man, this one flowed over, and I didn't get into nothing, y'all. Shut it down and keep going? Should we break down the rest of this? Somebody let me know. Right? If I could get 7, real quick, I'll keep going. If I can't get 7, we're gonna shut this thing down and I'll catch up with y'all. Right? Yes, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, we're gonna keep on breaking this down, right? Hopefully this ain't a long drawn out video because I never wanted to start doing that. I want to get in and out, but we're gonna keep on going. We're gonna break down a few more of these, right? Deuteronomy 6 and 5, we're gonna go to next if you want to get through there. If you wanna slide through there on your navigation, on your book navigation, you know what I'm saying? All praises to the Most High. Let me get it calm when you get there. Praise the Most High for a tight connection today. It ain't been kicking me off. I don't think I ain't seen no notification telling me that I'm kicked off. Praise the Most High for that. We do acknowledge, when things is tight and the blessings. We do acknowledge the blessings when he sends them. Right? Okay, let's read it. Deuteronomy 6 and 5. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, all thy soul. Now this time it says might, which is the same thing as strength, right? Itazawam, right? With all thy might this time. So, all your might. Oh, you gotta be, right? And that's what it takes to get over a lot of things, addictions and things like that. Oh, you gotta just lay in that bed and sweat and just, right? Fasting, right? Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, this pain in my stomach, right? Cut everything out, cut everybody out, go in your room, slam the door. Oh, leave me alone. Just be in there and just, guess how you gonna come out of that? When you come out of there and you take that shower and you put on them clothes, oh, you're dressed in a different man, right? And you're gonna walk out your door, and that's gonna be offensive to some people. Who does he think he is, right? Why? Because they're seeing God on you. And God is powerful. He created the entire earth and all the people in it, right? And all the elements of it, all the spirits, right? All the moods he created, right? So who do you think it is that's offended by that? It ain't him. It ain't the creator of it, right? It's the person who, was jealous of the creator and wanted to be the creator and snap the neck back and what is this, right? How dare you, right? And then they roll up on you and they run up on you, and what they're gonna do? They're gonna try to do what? They're gonna try to inject who they are on you and see you coming out of them. So when they see that anger and that furiousness and you trying to hurt them, and that's what they want to do is get you battling and fighting. Now you're looking like me. Okay, now they're gonna move on to the next person. Okay, I ruined the God in you, right? They hate it when you're standing there and you got integrity and you can hear the insults and you just like, yeah, that's cool, brother. I appreciate you. Bless you, brother. you know Yeah, I got receipts. I could pull them out. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. Right? Nah, you know, you're not gonna get me doing that out here today. You know? Yeah, I know a lot of this and a whole lot of that. And guess what? I'm gonna still gonna know it after you get done making a total fool out of yourself, right? I'm gonna still be over here sitting on all my receipts and gave up now. Okay? Yeah, you know? Oh, they hate it. They hate that, right? That's all your might, right? That's what we love in the most high with. That's what we gotta love the most high with. Why? Because vengeance is his and he's gonna deal with it, right? And all of those people are gonna crash. And guess what? They're gonna do it without your hand. And then the end of that, guess what you are? It's called blameless. Let me make that note so we could do blameless. One word, blameless. You'll be blameless. Yeah, they crashed, but it wasn't by your hands. You didn't help, right? Blameless, baby. We're going to go into it because that's what I strive to be and to remain, right? Blameless. It's very important to me that it doesn't happen by these, right? By my hands, right? Please don't let it be by your hands out there, my remnant, my few, right? My chosen few, right? Please don't let it be by your hands. Let it happen by somebody else's hands, right? It's gonna happen, right? You know they shall be abased. It's gonna happen. Just don't let it be by your hands, right? Let's get us another precept, right? Let's try Matthew 22 and 37. Right, Matthew 22 and 37 is where we're gonna go next. It's gonna basically say the same thing again, but I'm gonna get one after that, and it's gonna change for you. It's gonna, boy, read the Bible, right? So all you gotta do is read this book. So all we need is this book, right? Read this book. Okay, let's read it. And Yasha said unto him, right? Matthew 22 and 37. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind. Red letters. And Yasha said unto him. So Christ is telling you to do this. Do you follow Christ? Right? Maybe we thought we did. Maybe I thought I did. But we're arriving at a place right now that we're going to realize, man, I haven't been following Christ where I thought I had been. Right? It's right there. Right? Matthew 20, 22 and 37. How it was broke down with all your heart, with everything you feel, all your soul, with everything you is before you gain this flesh and this earth. You got to be loving him with that, right? And with all thy mind, with all your thoughts, with everything that you think. So you can't take a break to think about this garbage, right? Why? Because that's going to affect your mood. That's going to fill you up with spirits. So you got to block that thought. You got to see that thought coming and put your hand in the face like that. Right? You got to mush it in the face. Get out of here. Right? With all your thoughts, baby. Okay? Now, man, let's bring it back full circle, back to the love. Luke 10 and 27. Luke 10 and 27, y'all. Brace yourself. Brace yourself. We're going to make it plain today. All right? Oh, the Most High. He done playing. All right? Bless the soul that finds this. You are special. Right? I hope it's not many of us. I hope it's only a few of us. Right? I hope it's not a whole bunch of people, right, foul on to this and make it all repetitive and just makes it lose all of its substance. And, you know, you have everybody everywhere speaking this message, and you know what I mean? That's what the devil, he's able to do that. And he's able to take a strong message and make it mean nothing, right? That's why even using the L word is frowned upon in the earth today, right? Now, let's bring that thing full circle, right? Luke 10 and 27. And he answering said, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy strength and with all thy mind. Now, here's the flip, here's the twist. And thy neighbor as thyself. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. What's that? Now it has been extended. What is that? That's the love, y'all. It's got to spill over to your neighbor, right? So how can you say you're doing this and you lying? You lying to people. How can you say this when you know a way that their soul could be saved, but you keep that back because it's going to affect something else that you got going on? That's not a pure heart, right? Towards your neighbor. And guess what? You think you ain't going to pay for that? You hate yourself if you doing that, right? You don't care about your own soul. You don't care about coming before the Most High and him saying, hey, what was up with that? You know, right? 12 and 36, what's that? 12 and 30, what 12 and 36 is that? Romans? I think it's Romans 12 and 36. Let's see, let's be sure. Right? With every idle word, right? What's every idle word? Yeah, Matthew 12:36, right? But I say unto you that every idle word which men shall speak, they shall give they should give account thereof in the day of judgment, right? So that means you're gonna have to explain that. You don't think you're gonna have to explain that to the person who said what? What did he say? Ye shall not respect persons in judgment, but ye shall hear the small as well as the great. Ye shall not be afraid of the face of man, for the judgment is God's, right? And the cause that is too hard for you, bring it unto me, and I will hear it, right? Moses speaking there. Why is he saying bring it to me? Because he was going up on that mount and speaking directly with God. So you don't have Moses now. So you got to be the one that go directly to God. That's bringing another one to mind, right? Let's go to that one. Boy. Let the book explain the book, right? It's the book of James, chapter 1, verse 5. And it says what? If any man lack wisdom, let him ask who? Let him ask the Most High, right? Let him ask the Most High. That does what? That giveth to all men liberally, no, just your elder. That giveth to all men liberally, freely, and upbraideth not, right? He's not going to give you a hard time for coming and asking him for that wisdom. He understands why you want the wisdom, to please him, right? To please him. If you're asking to please him with your wisdom, he's going to give it liberally. He's going to upbraid not, right? And it shall be given unto you. And if you're not giving it, that's bringing another one to mind, right? Follow me here. Same book, right? James 4 and 3, right? Ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss. You ask wrong, right? You're not asking for the wisdom to please him, right? That ye may consume it upon your lust. You're asking upon your own lust for your own reasons. He won't grant it if you come in like that, right? He's not going to give you wisdom to sin with, right? Come on now. I hope I'm talking to somebody out there. I hope I'm talking to somebody, right? I hope the Most High is talking to somebody, excuse me, right? All praise to the Most High, y'all. Every drop of the praise, the honor, the glory, right? And they're going to keep on coming, right? Deuteronomy 10 to 12 is another one. How many times did our Father tell us this, right? How important is this? How many precepts of this do we have? Deuteronomy 10 and 12. And now, who? Israel. Who? Israel, right? The people who want to rule the next existence that's never going to stop. This one that you're looking at right now, it got an expiration date, but this one don't, right? And now, Israel, right? What does the Lord thy God require of thee, right? What does he require of you? Going in deeper, right? He requires this of us, right? Like Ecclesiastes 12 and 13, right? The whole duty of man. What does he require of thee, right? But that we fear the Most High, the Lord our God, right? Be scared of him. Be scared of what he's going to do if we disobey and if we take our own out and make our own moves and seek our own justice and seek our own rewards, right? What is he going to do if we do that? Right? Yikes. Mm-mm-mm. Fear him, right? To do what? What is this fear going to help us do? To walk in all his ways. All his ways. Every time I see ways, it put me as that blue ball flying through these realms, right? Because that was a way, that was a path, and I was right. And it started, I could only see the front of myself first. And I was like, what is this? Right. And I was able to back out a little more. Now I could see my whole body. I remember realizing, like, this is me. You remember the first time you looked in the mirror? I remember the first time I looked in the mirror, I was about 3, 4 years old, and I was by myself and I was in the room. I had climbed up on my mother's dresser on my knees, and I was in the mirror and I touched my face and I was like, that's you. That's what you look like, right? That's how you look. I did that again with that ball, right? And I was going. And when I went out and I could see it from behind, like the video game view, I'm like, wow. And then I went to the side. And when I went to the side, I backed way out, right? And then I could see what I was going towards. And I was going like that. And I could see the energy that was pulling me. It started pulling me when I was still in the earth, right? And I was just about to touch it black, right? And it was like, you know, praise the Most High, man. I'm still here, y'all. I'm still here and I'm back amongst you. And boy, do I have this word. I have this thing to tell you, you know, and it's going to help. It's going to help you. But it made clear who that remnant is. It drives home those remnant scriptures. Woo-hoo-hoo. It drive them home. Who's going to hear? Who's not going to hear? Guess what? There's some people here who we wasn't friends a day before I had my incident. They're here, right? People who hated me. They filed in like brother, right? Why? Because the Most High chose them. Why? Because they are the remnant. Why? Couldn't nothing stop them, right? It was sobering, right? Couldn't no elder deacon officer such and such stop them from being right here, right now, right? All praises to the Most High, but, you know, first thing we got to do if we want to live is eat right. And I promise you, you won't get diabetes. You won't get cancer, right? Your kidneys won't shut down like mine did, thinking everything was perfect, thinking I had all knowledge, thinking I was big bad brother Browns. You wasn't even eating right, bro. You was putting disease in your mouth, brother, right? And everybody you was leaning on to help that not happen to you, they failed you, right? And then they jumped on you when you came back from another realm, from another life form, and all of that. They cut you off, right? And came against you and went against you, right? And told you was talking crazy, right? But what Deuteronomy 1:17 said, and ye shall not respect persons in judgment, but ye shall hear who? The small as well as the great, right? If they would have fell in line with that, then they wouldn't be on the outside of this small loop right now, right? Now, when everything is done, the Most High, it ain't gonna be hard. The Most High gonna have his little scoop, his little handful. Boop. Okay, the rest of y'all, right? Let the multitude perish then, right? Second Esdras chapter 9, verse 22, right? Right? So long, so long. You ever saw that? What's the name of that movie with what's the name? Most Death, right? So long, and thanks for all the fish. Talking about the talking about the whales, right? How the whales are becoming extinct. so long, and thanks for all the fish, right? What was the name of that movie, man? I love that movie. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, right? Man, that's a dope movie. If y'all get a chance, go watch that. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy with Most Def in it, right? But man, that remnant, us lovers, we gonna get up out of here. We gonna love them, though. We gonna love them long as we here. You know, I love the L word. I love hearing it spoken. I love everything about it. You know, a lot of us, we can't even hear it. We hear it, and man, all bets are off. They don't want to do that. They don't want to love. Why? Because love is pure, right? Love has no restrictions and no bounds, right? You give yourself. You lay your heart on that. They want to protect themselves. Love does not do that. Remember Christ's stance, right? Remember his position, right? Oh, he put himself up there. That's love, y'all. It ain't this. It ain't. Come on, let's go. Let's. It ain't that, y'all. It's I surrender. Take me, right? What you got to do to be able to do that? Trust God. That's when you gonna find out how He works. Because you're gonna look up and you're gonna say, "Whoa, nobody stabbed me. Nobody, nothing." That's when you get to see His power, right? Everybody is teaching you how to protect yourself. Run for this. Be scared of that. Right? Not me. No. Lay yourself on that altar, right? Romans 12 from the top. Okay? A living sacrifice, right? Is a living sacrifice, You alive, but you know, basically, you done burnt up on that altar. You done laid yourself on there. They done sacrificed you, right? They done set you on fire. However they wanted to sacrifice you. They slit your throat. You done bled out. You know, your blood hit that hot altar and sizzled up, right? It got too real. It got too real, y'all. It got too real. They had to do something. You see that? They had to stop it, y'all. This thing about to start tripping now. It got too real. They didn't want me to go into the living sacrifice. Yeah, you lay yourself on that altar, y'all. You give yourself to the Most High. No, it wasn't your phone. Now you see how they controlling. Oh, they hate, but they scared though. I know they scared. I know they like, man, the Most High, He's here. He's talking to them. He's bringing them forward, right? It's a nail in our coffin, right? They worried. Yikes. All right, y'all, chill out. Let's wait till we get somewhere. Let's get us somewhere and have this talk. Y'all come out here, right? We get on the side of one of these hills, man, and there ain't gonna be no interruptions, right? Oh, whoa, wow, right? Praise the Most High, y'all. That's 149. An hour in the Jubilee. 49, 7 times 7, right? Wow. But we gonna rise, y'all. They can't stop it. We gonna rise, right? And it ain't a whole bunch of us we gotta worry about. It's only a few. It's gonna be easy, right? It's only a few of us. Ain't gonna take all this work, right? No, the remnant know who they are. You know who you are. You ain't gonna please the Most High and not know it. I say it all the time. You think he gonna let you run around this earth not knowing that you pleased him? You gonna know. You gonna know you pleased him. And you're gonna have a different approach to life and people and everything. You'll be able to lay yourself on that altar, right? Because you know he ain't gonna let that be the end of everything. No, you know, lay yourself on that altar, y'all, right? A living sacrifice, all thy heart, all thy soul, all thy mind, all thy might, all thy strength, right? If you go through all of the precepts, it's going to take you there. And how does it end? And thy neighbor as thyself, right? And your neighbor as yourself, huh? Man, I love y'all so much. That's all it is, right? It's just a highly feared L word. That's all it is. That's all it is, right? And now, Israel, what does the Lord thy power, thy God, require of thee, but to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, right? Walk in his ways, all his ways, wherever he goes. He's telling you where to go with all thy heart and with all thy soul. What is that going to look like? A lot of the times, that's going to look like something that you don't want to do. Give me that remote. You know, man, you done ran through all kind of stuff, been through all kind of stuff. Yes, 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 that. Give me that remote. Man, you could have reached up yourself and just, you know what I mean? No, but they putting you on. They really got something for you, and it's tucked over here. And you know, they ain't gonna just throw it on you and just shower you with take this. Why? Because that'll ruin your soul, right? A gift destroys the heart. Let's go to it, right? It's book. If I'm saying it, it's book, right? If it ain't book, I ain't saying it, right? Surely oppression maketh the wise man mad, and the gift does what? Destroyeth the heart. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and 7, right? A gift destroy the heart. So what they're gonna do, they're gonna teach you a lesson in humility first, right? And thankfulness and all of that. They're gonna have you be thankful to receive, right? Because if you miss all of that and you just receive, then you become, you know, this and that, and you become Satan, right? Oh, he studied him with all of them Jews and made them beautiful and made him the head of the choir, and you know what I mean? And they were singing to the Most High, and you know what I'm saying? But I'm Satan, and all of these colors is flying off of my jewels, and you know what I'm saying? But I'm Satan, and how long did it take for him to be like, y'all need to be praising me? He ain't shining like this. He ain't twinkling. I know he the one that made me twinkle like this, but he's not shining like that. Why don't y'all praise me? And as soon as he thought that and felt like that, the floor caved in. And he went into the sunken place, right? Like, get out. Where are you getting out to? The sunken place. Right? But if you humble yourself, you will get out to where he got out, right? He got up out of there in the end, didn't he? His friend came and got him, right? Smoked grandma and granddad, they got up out of there, you know. But that's what happened to Satan. That floor came off from under him, right? Boy. It's all gotta be for the most high, right? Everything. All of it, you know. But see, I'm gonna get on up out of here, y'all. Right? We did us 2 hours today, unexpectedly. All right, but man, let's gear up, y'all, and gear up and get right by our Father, and go get ours, y'all. Go get ours. It's only a few of us. Everybody ain't gonna hear us. All right, most people are not gonna hear us. Stop looking for that. Stop looking for the glitter, right? You know, when you really find out the truth, it ain't what you think, you know. It ain't gonna be all glorious, you know. The Lord, you know, the day of the Lord, it's not a pretty day, right? It's darkness and not light, right? Because a lot of people going down that drain, and it's gonna hurt. You're gonna like, man, not you, yes, them, yeah, they're going, they're going down that drain, right? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. He's light. He's gonna all the light is gonna go dark, and he gonna be the only thing shining when he comes. Right? It's a day of darkness. Why? Because the light's gonna turn off on everything that ain't him. You know, these are last days, y'all. We thought we was in the last days. No, the last days have begun now. Right? When you find out that every organization that you have known is compromised. Yeah, they did the first deeds, waking you up and getting you here denied, but they was never meant to get you to the finish line, right? That's gonna take you digging deep down into the essence of who you are. You ain't gonna be shallow and get to that finish line, right? If any bone in your body is shallow, you ain't gonna be able to get past, right? The pond, right? In the good, in the good presentation and persona. And man, I ain't writing down. I ain't even done no lesson before, y'all. I just come in here raw, y'all. I don't even know where I'm going until you see me type on this board, right? All praise to a higher. Raw spirit. That's how we gonna do this. All right. That's 159. Uh let's get the description section real quick. Right? Plant Vineyards 144 at gmail.com. Right? Hit that, link in, you know, find out what you can do to help us, right? And get this number. We about to start doing some things behind the scenes because we see they're gonna keep cutting us off whenever it get too deep, right? We need to get another call going or something like that where we can't be interrupted. We're gonna have to put some things together where we can meet, right? I prove to y'all that I will drive to New York. I will put some gas in the tank and drive to New York. I will get on the airplane. I will do all of those things, right? A lot of y'all done met me and you never been to California, right? So, you know, should be able to trust me in that aspect. This ain't gonna be just no internet thing. We gonna come together and we gonna hang out and we gonna break bread and it ain't gonna have no starch in it. Praise the height, right? But yeah, file in, uh, hit that. Be patient with me. Give me at least, I don't know, you know, give me some time, right? I do hit everybody. I don't skip anybody, right? I'm gonna hit everybody. I'm not a pretty woman. I'm not treating you like I'm a pretty woman and you an ugly man and I gotta ignore your reach out. If you reach out, you're gonna get in contact with me and we're gonna get our one-on-one going. You know, I apologize if I haven't called you yet, but I only have a certain amount of time per day to do that. But I will get to you. If I haven't called you yet, I'm gonna get to you, I promise. Ask the ones who I have called, right? If you hear and I called you, let that be known. And did we get a good solid build? Right? Was I rushing off the phone or did I give you a good hour or two? Right? Some of y'all 3, right? We locked in real good, you know. Uh, it's undivided, y'all. And that's when you could tell me about your individual situation. I'm painting everything with a broad brush on here, but if you want to get it one-on-one, y'all, that's the best way. And the prayers and everything, pray for me and just pray for me. And why am I praying? Let's talk about that. What are we praying for? What spirits are we praying away? What spirits are we trying to discourage? Because we know that the fear is in them. It's not in the righteous. Fear is in them, right? We can always cultivate the fear in them. We can make them back up. We could grab us some Most High in Christ and make them move back, make them get out the way, make them move around, huh? Glory be unto his holy name, right? But that's the email address, right? plantvineyards144@gmail.com, right? Also, Cashapp, Fringes, right? Let's put it in here. I understand. I understand why people went crazy when I was breaking off. I understand it. I'm sorry. I would have stayed with you forever. You know I would have, right? Put my wife to work. She want to work too. She got her work, you know, right? She ready to sew you up, get your fringes together, get your, get the look together, right? So we can look like one who's serving the Most High. And it ain't about that. It's about putting it on the inside, right? But if you want to be in uniform and alert other brews, you'll be surprised when you put on them fringes and hey, you know the truth, brother. Yeah, I know the truth, brother. You know, identify each other out there. But when you see them do that, yeah, right. All praise to the Most High. It's time, y'all. It's time to rise. We will rise, right? And we're assembling. We're assembling now to rise. We thought we rose before, but we have been debased, right? And we got to jump off the train that's crashing and jump on the train that's finna just turn another curve and keep on going. And that's what time it is, y'all. Blessed are ye, and blessed are your eyes for they see and your ears for they hear, right? You know, 205, we're gonna go to 207. Right? My brother D Rich, War and Peace, Stephanie Hodge, right? Shapak Shamar, my sister Efisha, right? Give the king my love, sister. And y'all get with brother Ramak, right? Get with brother Ramak, and y'all can make a real thing happen in North Carolina, right? Brother King El Bar, pray he available to join y'all, right? And y'all can make something really beautiful happen if you right. How many in the midst? How many does it take for him to be in the midst? 2 or 3, right? So you can go out there with Christ and flip North Carolina upside down, baby. You hear me? All praise it to the Most High, right? Be kind to one another. That's right. Ricardo Gonzalez, with those wise words of wisdom, always pray for you, bro. Need to talk about that hydrogen peroxide regimen, right? For precautionary measures, of course. Yeah, let's link in. Let's get on the phone, bro. Let's chop it up, right? Have patience with one another. All of that. That's love, y'all. That's putting yourself to the back, right? That's right. A lot of us can't do that. We got to stance like this. Let's fight, right? Let's this and that. Let's be strong, right? Let's blah blah, right? But catch up with y'all soon. I am right. Uh, we will rise. It's the beginning of it. It's happening now, right? Bless you all. Love you all. Catch up with y'all soon. Shalom.